Check one, two. Okay, great. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to call the meeting to order this morning, Thursday, January 9th, the first meeting of the Banking Committee for the 2025 session. Today's meeting is just an organizational meeting, essentially, as we ease into session here. Just a chance for everyone to get back to introduce and reintroduce our members as we start to get to work. And I'm very excited to see that we do, in fact, have perfect attendance already for this meeting. So I'll say it again. Those of you who have been with us before have heard me say that I think all the experts agree that the Banking Committee is indeed the Connecticut General Assembly's best committee. I think we were actually voted. There were some lists out there. I'm not sure. I'll have to dig those out. But U.S. News and World Report, and that may have been it. That may have been it. But it's a pleasure to be back. I'm Representative Jason Doucette of the 13th House District, representing my hometown of Manchester and also the town of Glastonbury. Honored to be back here co-chairing the Banking Committee. And with that, I will next introduce my Senate co-chair, Senator Miller.
Thank you, Representative Doucette. And I can say, honestly, one of the best co-chairs in this building. So thank you very much. I'm Senator Pat Billy Miller. I represent the 27th District, and that's Stamford and Darien. And I'm honored to be here that my constituents have entrusted me with a vote to vote for them again. I also want to thank all of the returning members, say welcome to the returning members and hello to our new members. I'm excited. I did ask to be placed on banks again because I think that we do phenomenal work for the customers, the consumers, the constituents of this bank, of this state. I'm interested this session and that's always been my goal, to bring forth legislation and policy that affects the unbanked and the underbanked. So I'm really excited about the initiatives that we plan to bring forth this session. And again, I want to say welcome, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. We are fortunate to have back again our core team, ranking members, starting on the House side, Representative Tom Delnicki.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Madam Chair. And I think it was Connecticut News and World Report voted this committee as being the most effective, most cohesive, and the one committee gets it done, plain and simple. I know we're going to be touching on some issues that we've touched on last session. This is the long session, so we can perfect what needs to be perfected. And I know that there is a collegial spirit here of everyone working together to accomplish good things for the people of the state of Connecticut. I was fortunate enough to get reelected this past election. I'm in my fifth term here, and I represent the great town, the crown jewel, South Windsor. So again, I'm glad to be back, and I'm looking forward to a highly productive session here. Thank you, Madam Chair and Mr. Chair.
And over on the Senate side, Senator Eric Berthel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair. Good to be back. I am State Senator Eric Berthel. I represent the 32nd District, which is 12 great towns that straddle the borders between New Haven, Litchfield, and Fairfield County. I believe this is the committee that I have spent the longest amount of time on in my tenure. I'm beginning yesterday with the gavel drop. I began my 11th year here in Hartford, which as you know, Senator Miller, is crazy, right? That all of a sudden you have a decade behind you. But I too look forward to the very collegial and collaborative work we do on this committee. I'd like to think that generally speaking, the bills that come before us are nonpartisan in nature. There isn't a Republican or Democrat bill that's here like we do see in other committees. We may have to massage things or tweak things a little bit along the way. And as the good representative from the House, Representative Delnicki spoke to, there are bills last year that we absolutely said we just didn't have enough time in that very short session last year to take up. So I hope that we can get to some of that. There were bills that came out of this committee with unanimous support that died, I think in finance perhaps, that hopefully we can take up, reconstitute, and get over the curb and have it become law at some point. But this is a great committee to serve on, and I'm happy to be back. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Vice chairs on our committee, on the House side, Representative Farley Santos.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Chair, good to see you again and to be back here. Really proud of the work that we have done in this committee in my first term, and now that I'm starting my second term here, representing the great city of Danbury. I look forward to the work ahead. I think there's much that we can do, much that was perhaps left on the plate last time, to ensure that we are protecting the underbanked in our state, and also promoting good business for our banks and credit unions throughout the state as well. So I look forward to the work ahead. I look forward to working with all of the members here and continuing that bipartisan fashion of getting things done. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be back here in the Banks Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. On the Senate side, we have a new member and new vice chair, Senator Paul Honig. Morning, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Paul Honig. I'm the senator for the 8th District, which represents 11 towns that straddle the Farmington Valley and the Litchfield Hills. I had no idea I was getting on such a collegial committee when I got here, so I'm very excited by that. I had a 22-year career. I spent 7 years at Prudential Securities Investment Bank and then another 15 years at JP Morgan Chase Bank. And very much looking forward to doing the work here with you all and making some progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Great to hear about that experience. And I think it lends itself well to the work we'll do here. I'm going to go back over on this side, and House member, Representative Joe Hoxa from the city of Bristol.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you everyone who is on this committee. Yes, my name is State Representative Joe Hoxa, representing the 78th District, which includes my hometown of Bristol and a part of my hometown of Bristol and the entirety of Plymouth, Connecticut. I too come from a bit of a banking background, and I concur with the opinions of everyone that's spoken before me today, that we truly did have a very inclusive and but still diverse in our views committee last year with Chairman Doucette and Chairman Miller on the Senate side. So I hope to continue that atmosphere, and I think we're gonna do some good work in this committee this year. So thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
Thanks, Representative. Back over on this side, another returning member, Representative Jamie Foster.
Hi, everybody. I am happy to once again be serving on the Banking Committee. When I got assigned to this committee at first, Rep. Doucette told me it was the best committee to be on. And I was a little reluctant to agree and concur, but I've been really happy on the Banking Committee. We've done some really interesting and exciting stuff. I've learned a lot. And I really do appreciate the collegial nature of this committee. So I'm looking forward to another really excellent session, and I look forward to learning and working with all of you.
Thank you, Representative. Sitting next to Representative Foster, representing the city of Bridgeport, which has always had, since I've been here, a strong presence on this committee dating back to my predecessor as chair, Representative Santiago. We've got Representative Fred Gee joining our committee this year.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair, and all of my colleagues. I'm looking forward to learning here on this great committee. I've heard so much about the consonance and the continuity that's exhibited in this committee. I'm looking forward to bringing resources back to underserved communities, which I serve in, the unbanked, and access to capital for small businesses, and just the continuity between constituents and small businesses and banking is paramount for the success of our state. So I'm looking forward to working with my colleagues. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative. That's everyone in the room. We have folks joining us online. I see Senator Hockaday. Would you like to say hi out there in cyberspace, Senator Hockaday?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to all. I apologize for not being in the building today, but my name is Senator Jan Hockaday. I represent the 13th District, which is all of Meriden, parts of Middletown, Middlefield, and Cheshire. And as everyone has said, I am happy to be returning to this committee to continue the amazing work that was done on this very vast committee, but don't tell my other committees that.
Thank you, Senator. Also online, also from the city of Bridgeport, Representative Baker is a longstanding member of this committee. You there, Senator? Representative Baker.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Sorry I can't be there, but you know, it's a pleasure to return into the banking committee. You know, I've been serving many years on the banking committee, and everybody's got it right. This is one of the best committees in the building. You know, one of the things I enjoy the most that we are able to come together and work together and take on the challenges of all the necessary bills and legislation. So I look forward to the dialogue and let's get to work and let's enjoy ourselves and have some fun and get to know all the members and that are on here.
Thank you, Representative. Okay, I think that's all the members who are present. We may be missing one, but yeah, Representative Anaskovich, I believe, but still, I believe he may have been logged in earlier, perhaps, but good attendance for our first meeting. Like to introduce our new clerk of the committee. We have Tom Tugneri over there, who is stepping into the role and has been on board for a few weeks and has done a fantastic job so far, and I trust will continue to do so. We and our assistant clerk over there is Zaida Romero, am I pronouncing that correctly? Who's going to be with us this session as well. Nonpartisan staff, I believe we have the same core team as well, returning this year. From the Legislative Commissioner's Office, we have Patrick Deegan. From OLR, we have George Miles and Kristen Miller. From OFA, Ryan Proto is also assigned to the committee this year. So we're fortunate to have the same core team back. I think as has been mentioned, we'll have quite a few bills returning this year and quite a few issues returning this year. There were a good number that died on the clock last year for one reason or another, which I believe were consensus issues, fairly non-controversial or completely non-controversial, some, arguably technical in nature, that I think we want to certainly see through this year. And that is about simply managing the clock, managing the committee process, referrals, and so forth. So certainly intend to do that this year. I do want to mention, I think it's an interesting time in the financial services sector with the new administration coming in shortly here. I think we're going to see quite a few changes to the landscape on the federal level, particularly as we look at things like digital assets and just the fintech space in general. We may see quite a few changes on the federal level that will necessitate us perhaps taking a different approach here on the state level. So I think it is an interesting time in the industry, and there are some things that will require our attention in that space, perhaps to adapt to things that are happening on the level. Personally, I also take an interest in housing, being perhaps tangentially part of the cognizance of this committee. Obviously, things related to housing finance are heard in this committee frequently. But that, I think, is an issue for this legislature in general and the state as a whole, is one that is obviously critically important and one that I think we will pay some attention to in this committee this year. So, you know, and I say that too, as, you know, for members of this committee and all of our colleagues in the legislature to certainly be open to bringing your ideas here as they relate to housing finance, housing supply. I think we have a good forum here to look at those issues. Traditionally, we always have, and will continue to do so as it remains an issue on the forefront. So with that, I look forward to getting to work here. We have one of the earlier deadlines, as I think we all know, of all the committees. I believe it's the 13th of March this year. So that will be here before we know it. So we will have to make quick work. One of the great things, in all seriousness, about this committee, in addition to, you know, working in a bipartisan manner and being very collegial, having a lot of consensus on issues, is that we do not get a huge volume of bills. Our agenda usually is pretty manageable. And that being said, we are able to entertain, I think, a lot of the concepts that come before us, and are able to manage our calendar. So I would expect the same to be true this year as we whisk along towards that March 13th deadline. So with that, we do not have our next meeting scheduled yet, but keep an eye out for it. It will be here quickly. I suspect we'll have a meeting perhaps next week or the week after, if not, to start raising our concepts and reserving proposed bills for hearings. So with that, I will declare the meeting to be adjourned. Thank you, everyone.